Yes.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, I'll work with bond counsel and Tom and Kevin to get everything prepared for the special meeting on the 12th. And that advertisement will also include the sunshine requirement.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Sure.
Thank you, Daryl.
Sure, thank you.
And we'll get in before the next Fed meeting.
Yes.
Good.
Good luck on getting out.
There's another seat up here if you want to move up.
You
I
can
don't want
stay
to
there.
move
Thank you.
Thank you, Daryl.
I think somebody else should shuffle.
Yeah, we'll see if I stay that way a little bit.
Well, I can get out.
Okay, slide in.
Does anyone want to move up? There's an empty chair right here.
And we do have one up top.
Yep, go ahead.
All right, well, good evening, everyone. My name's Ben Goldthorpe. Along with me tonight is John Kennedy from Kennedy Associates. So just as a recap, we were in front of the board in the end of August, early September, talking about the project Melbourne Hill, which is along 29 and Little Road. It's a project that's been in front of the township for a number of years, and we have two plan sheets here. One is the previously approved plan, and then a revised sketch. And so, if you recall, we were talking about sanitary sewer and the best way to try and service the community in general. We've talked a lot about grinder pumps, pump stations, gravity mains. And part of the direction that the supervisors you gave us last time was to go in front of the planning commission and explain everything to them. So we were in front of them in September and got some good feedback regarding sanitary sewer, as well as explained an alternative plan, which I show here, which is revised yet since from we were in front of the planning commission, which somewhat compacted the community, providing some additional open space. So wanted to come back in front of the supervisors tonight and continue our discussion about sanitary sewer, see if there's been any discussions internally on the subject of grinder pumps versus pump stations, to give us direction to move forward. And then once perhaps if we answer that question, then to move the conversation to, do we continue to proceed with the previously approved plan, or does everyone want us to look at redesigning and perhaps going with an alternative layout? So those are the two questions tonight. So I guess with that, if you have thoughts on the sanitary sewer.
I just want to add that you also met with planning commission. No, you didn't meet, they discussed it last week.
Correct.
Yeah, we had some feedback.
We did, both Ben and I did read the minutes from the planning commission meeting.
And just to let you all know, we took a little field trip earlier today out to the site, so to acquaint ourselves with it.
Sure.
Was this the original plan, am I correct?
This is the original plan that has the approval.
What success or lack of success have you had with a pump station?
From what perspective? Acquiring easements or construction and it's over the long term?
Acquiring the easements and
So, just kind of backing up, we started talking to the township maybe 2 years ago, and I spent a year trying to knock on some doors and reach out to some folks to try and acquire an easement for what I would call a regional pump station that's off of our site and down along the Goshenhoppen Creek. I felt that if we were going to build a pump station, it would make sense to build one in a place that could be used more than if we put it on our site, so it loses the availability of some additional folks, and so I spent about a year talking to neighbors trying to acquire easements, and I was unsuccessful in acquiring one at a reasonable price.
I wanna bring up another issue. Your first plan has some challenges given the topography of the land, the steep slopes. There's a pretty big hill there. And-
You're correct. I will say though, this was fully designed, engineered, and from a grading perspective, is feasible to construct. But I would agree with you, it's not
And it's-
ideal.
Very close to the neighbors, so let's put that aside for a second. Your
Yes.
second plan is still pretty close to the road and to the neighbors, and it's really congested. So I'm gonna just throw something out there and see if it lands. Have you considered doing, houses that have a connecting wall, like, I've seen these where like maybe the garage wall connects, what do you call them? Not a duplex, but like
Twins.
a twin. So
Sure.
it's two single-family homes, but they're connected,
Sure.
and that frees up a lot of additional land, so it doesn't look so crowded.
So,
And they face in opposite directions, rather than,
Or they could.
they could.
So one of the challenges of your second plan is the houses are really close together.
yeah, so, a couple things on that point. So, we certainly could look at an alternative product type, but frankly, we would still then have to look at the math in terms of the market and what we're offering to the public. And, so what I mean by that is that if we were to go to a different type of product, if it was, twins or, quads, which is, kind of 4 units that are all, kind of face each other, we could look at that, but we would wanna look at a different density, to make that be successful. And so we wouldn't be able to do something like that at the same density perspective.
Well, which density are you talking about? Because that doesn't comply with our zoning.
Well, they're,
And this takes up the whole piece of land.
yeah, so I guess what I'm talking about is this is 48 homes, and so and this is also 48 homes. They're the same number of homes.
47.
Well, that one's 47.
Sorry, yeah, this one's 47, this one shows 48.
Correct.
And we understand that today 47 would be the number because of some,
Because you no longer
Yes.
can offer the
correct.
piece of land.
That's correct, that's correct. So in both these scenarios, we're both talking about 47 homes. And so if the question is, could we do twin homes, what would that look like? That number might be closer to 75 homes to be.
Wait a
to-
minute, wait a
Yep.
minute. Wouldn't that be cheaper for you? Why would you need to build more homes if it's cheaper to build them?
They're worth a lot less money. You can go out and buy a twin for much less than you can buy a single family detached
I've
home.
seen some of these twins and they are luxury homes. They're gorgeous.
Well, they can get up there in value, but they're still not gonna compare in price and value to a single family detached home. That will always be worth more money. So if you're talking about a fixed number of homes, say 40 homes, and you have a choice between single family detached or twins or 40 townhomes, the 40 single family detached homes will always be worth more money.
Well, how much
And-
more, 10%?
No.
5%?
No.
Considerably more money. I mean, all you have to do is really start looking in a real estate section and you can see what, you know, you can buy different types of homes for. And you're also getting different types of buyers too. You're getting, if you were to go with attached units, you're typically getting people who are first-time buyers starting families, versus if you go to the 40 single-family detached, those are people that do have a family established.
What hasn't been my experience, because I've seen some of these twins and they are luxury homes and they have people who are older, whose children are already grown up, so maybe we're talking about different kinds of homes, because I've been in some of these homes and they're really high-end and
They
They're not
can be
starter
high-end.
homes. They're not
I'm
starter
just saying
homes.
that they're still not gonna be worth the same amount of money as
well,
a single-family.
we're trying to solve a problem here, not a problem, but we're trying to maintain some open space on the property and not have the houses be crowded and have to change our zoning, which is what you're asking for. And my solution I've asked you to consider, you're saying you'd have to increase the density, which makes the whole thing moot.
Yeah,
So where are we?
That is true, that is true.
what it sounds like is we're back to the previously approved plan.
So when you say approved, when was it approved?
2007, 2008, I don't have the resolution in
And how
front
long
of
did
me.
that approval last?
I think it's good till maybe 21, something like that.
August of 2020.
There you go. So we're at the point where we'd like to, knowing that, you know, that date is rapidly approaching, is that we'd like to move forward either with this plan or something, and we're not married to this either, but I guess the question is, the market has changed, the world has changed in the 10 years when this got approved, and buyers today are looking for smaller lots. So I understand your perspective that the houses are closer together, but that's really what people are looking for today. You know, part of our job is to do the market analysis and then provide the types of homes that people are looking to live in. Which is what brought us to this as a concept, to say, hey, you know, here's what we're seeing the market as what people would like. If you feel differently, you know, we're happy to continue with this.
Well, what's the distance to 29 from that house?
So from, this line is the ultimate right of way, and we're 66 feet on this location, 80 feet on this
I
location.
don't think that meets our zoning either.
From
We
the
need to
edge
be
of,
100, we need to be 100 feet.
so from the edge of the cartway, the edge of the road, it's probably closer to, I'd say, maybe 110 feet here and maybe, 95 feet.
No, this does not meet the zoning, we're not representing that it does meet the zoning, other than it's equivalent in the number of units. When we were at the planning commission, we did get some comments. The previous alternate sketch plan had some open space in the middle, and it was felt that there should be more open space around the sides and the edges, especially with the upper neighbors on Little Road.
Yeah.
And so what we've done is we've created more space in that location. And actually, the lots are a little bit bigger than the previous alternate plan too.
How big are they?
These lots are 7,000 square feet, 70 feet wide, which is standard, what we're finding as a standard lotting for many communities that we're doing today. This also, the other thing to keep in mind, this actually has more open space than this plan. This plan has about 19 acres of open space, this has about 26. So not only is the quantity greater, but also its distribution is completely different. Here, you have the I guess it's the northern end of it is completely free of any development. And the development has all been concentrated in one area of the site. So there's pros and cons to each layout. I think also that this layout, especially when you compare it to the previous alternate layout, is actually probably better in terms of grading. We've actually angled the streets so that they are running with the contours much more. If you remember, one of the comments was that on the other alternate, the lotting went right up into the corner, and so it would be much more grading than this plan would be. So we've tried to incorporate some of the comments that we did here at the planning commission, but they really are very different. This, because of the way the ordinance is structured, it encourages using up more of the site. The fact that you've got to create these neighborhoods, the neighborhoods have to be isolated with certain distances from each other and from the boundaries, and the net result is that tends to use up most of the site.
I understand that, but those houses are really crowded, and they're still pretty close to the street and to the neighbors on Little Road. I mean, what's the distance to, no, on the second one, what's the distance to the houses on Little Road at the
So
closest point?
at this point, it's 50 feet, and on this plan, it was 75 feet for these three. So I guess one potential thing we could look at, hearing some of these concerns, we could perhaps lengthen this location, this road, and perhaps pull one or two of these homes off of here and fit them in closer up here to pull away from 29. That would allow for another 70 feet on either side.
Yeah, I'm just not sure I'd wanna have a house that close to a major road, that's pretty close, and they got a lot of noise too. Carol, do you have any comments?
I know you got the minutes from the planning commission, and the planning commission generated a lot of comment on your
We-
new sketch plan.
we
and
did see
I
that.
think they had some great insights and some great thoughts.
Mhm.
One of my concerns on the newest plan was the grading. Just counting the contours, you've got almost 50 feet of fall from one side to the other. And with everything packed that closely together, it's gonna be a real grading challenge. Even on the existing one, we've got, I think, a 20-foot slope coming off of
Sure.
the property line closest to Little Road going down to those existing
Right.
homes. How you're gonna fit that in the other one, I don't know.
Sure.
The planning commission also mentioned that they like some open space in the center,
Mhm.
to make it look a little less congested. I realize that would also push you out a little further into the property. A bonus of your new plan is you really sort of preserve the woods that are on that tract.
Mhm. Right, Right.
And certainly there's some appeal to preserving the forest wherever we can in Mount Township.
I think the other thing is, that I will say, is I think, your comment about the lot sizes, you do need to recognize that is a personal choice. It may not be your choice to live in a lot that size, but for a lot of people it is. I personally live on a lot pretty close to that size, and I do not want one any bigger, because I don't like taking care of a lot. We, over the last 10 years, have systematically seen lot size drop in terms of what people would like. It doesn't honestly affect home value that much, surprisingly, but it's not unusual to see homes on 6,000 square foot lots, and it's not everybody's choice, I realize that, but they are more and more popular these days.
Well, I think what our concern would be, and someone correct me if I mistake this, is if we change our zoning for this development, it would change our zoning for other developments as well. So this is a decision the township would have to make that would affect more than just your development.
Sure. Yeah, I think the concept is more compact development, more open space. So that would be the general concept that you'd have to consider. And then in terms of other locations, and it would be up to Mr. Keenan on what he chooses, but we could look at doing an overlay district in perhaps just the R2 zoning district. So it would be perhaps limited to just that zoning district as opposed to something that could go further throughout the township.
Now, where would like a tot lot, or where would a common area be?
So previously, with this plan, the concept was to have that walking trail come through Mr. Manning's property, and then have folks go down Little Road to the park, and that there was not a tot lot as part of this particular community.
But there is open space, and theoretically, those open spaces in the circles could be places where kids could, play catch.
Right.
So that's what I'm saying, is there
Yeah.
anything envisioned for that in here at all? I mean, that would be nice.
Well,
Have
one
something.
thing we could do with this, actually, if I can just stand up for a minute, where we have a little bit of a conflict, so to speak, with this grading issue, is we really don't want to push things out this way too much, but we could push things out this way a little bit and get some open space in here and some open space in here. The more we keep things compact here, the better it is grading wise, especially up on that higher end. But it would be possible to actually put some, say, internal pieces of open space. If you could imagine, for instance, if this gets stretched a little bit and this whole piece here then is open space. So it's getting back to something similar to this, where you've got some lots looking at a green area.
What's
We
that?
could do that.
What's that little, looks like a tooth missing on the bottom?
This
What's
here,
that?
this here.
Yeah,
So this is just an open space area to allow for the emergency access
okay.
to come through. And,
Which has been secured at this point.
not yet.
Okay. Which is about to be secured.
And this here is an existing AT&T easement that we're working with now Verizon to attempt to extinguish.
And what's that other tooth up high? By the bowl?
Yeah,
This
okay.
here,
Mhm.
this could just be used for snow plowing, a place to, as the snow plow is coming through, that they'd be able to leave snow in
Yeah.
that
And
location.
open space access.
Yeah, because I understand that Rose Lane comes up, Gail Gosser, Gerloff Road, comes up there. Is there any plans to make a connection for trail or a walking trail from the end of the bulb up to Rose Lane?
So one of the planning commission's comments was just that, and so perhaps it would make more sense to shift this home closer
Yeah.
to lot 12 and have the access here, and maybe even in this location, and then provide some kind of future right-of-way in here for, as you suggested, that it, at some point in the future, if there was the need for the connection, it would be able to be put in place.
There's been a few comments talking about what the planning commission discussed a week or two ago. And Phil Smith is here, he is the recording secretary. Phil, do you have the minutes where you can briefly read off
Yes.
some of the comments that were made at the
bring
planning commission, please?
Sure.
Thank you.
I don't know, Ernie, do you wanna do it, or do you wanna, Ernie?
Do you want me to read the?
It's
Or
whatever,
Roger.
it's whatever you guys want.
Sure, I can do
Either.
it. Okay, Phil. This is Lower Frederick Township Planning Commission noted the following as areas of concern and/or areas requiring rethinking, alteration, and/or reconsideration. A, the alternative plan is lacking with respect to site lot layout. The alternative concept reveals a still congested layout of single-family homes sited on a non-conforming small lots and compacted to the Route 29 end of the tract. With the site's topography and compacted lotting of single-family homes, the end result will diminish the streetscape's aesthetics, rural character and appearance. In other words, it is the opinion of our planning commission that the compacted / constricted lotting shown on the October 8, 2018 alternative plan would make the resulting homes not blend comfortably with the Lower Frederick rural conservation areas, nor integrate with the Zieglerville Village VMU zoning district. Any comments on that? I'll move ahead to B.
Just keep going.
B, the developer should look to the possible use of 2 or 3 attached single-family homes as an alternative to having only detached single-family homes. 2 and 3 unit single-family attached homes, parents perhaps mixed with some single-family homes parents, would give the development's designers / planners the ability to retain the same approval density, yet permit relieving the congested look of the October 8, 2018 alternative plan. Further, the use of duplex or triplex single-family attached homes would permit side entry to garages, thus working to help open the congested lighting within the developed section of the property. C, the loss of centralized open space or commons needed to be restored to the interior area of the development, even